Hi everyone, welcome back to another pick a card reading. If you are new here, welcome, subscribe and become part of the Hive. Today's video is going to be on how people see you. So I went ahead and I let the cards come out as they pleased. So we have group 1 here, group 2, group 3, and group 4. If you're new here, we're going to go ahead and take a second, breathe, connect with our intuition and our breath. And you're going to choose either 1, 2, 3, or 4. Once you have chosen, go ahead and take a look at the description, the comments down below. I will leave timestamps for you. So go ahead and take a moment, and then we will go ahead and get started. See you guys there. Okay, group 1, you have chosen this tiny little jar of rainwater. We'll go ahead and go through your oracle cards and your tarot cards, and we'll get a better idea of how people perceive you, what they think of you when they first meet you. Now remember, this is a reflection of how they see you versus how you may really be. So I'll go into that a little bit and probably make another video on what your energy is like versus how people see you. But it's nice to get an insight on how you are perceived in the world. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we're going to start out with your tarot cards, group 1. So the energy I'm feeling, what stood out to me the most looking at these cards was the Emperor, which is a very powerful, dominant energy. So you definitely give that off when you meet people. You're very strong, you're able to communicate well, and it's definitely an attractive trait. And then we have the Ace of Swords. Again, that is a communicator's card. It shows that you ask questions, you're very engaging, and you're very sharp, very quick-witted, may also be a jokester. But people really enjoy your presence, and you're the type of person to take on the energy of the room. You lead the energy of the room, and a lot of people like that because they're able to take a step back, let you do all the talking, all the work, and you enjoy doing that. You may butt heads with people with the same personality, but as far as I can see, a lot of people like how you present yourself, you hold yourself high, and you demand respect, and you get respect most of the time. From the Four of Pentacles here, I'm feeling an energy of people think you are stingy, a little bit frugal. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's your money. You can do with it as you please. But that's part of the energy. You come off as clinging highly to possessions and material items. And this could also very likely be you have a lot of nice things, and that brings you a lot of happiness, and people may be a little bit jealous of that or get close to you because you have such nice things. They're hoping that you will give them those nice things as well, or you'd be able to share it with them. And then we have Justice in reverse here. People see you when they first meet you and when they interact with you as someone who has a distorted view of reality. You may appear or make misguided decisions, and you may be hard to follow sometimes. Putting yourself out there and being a very dominant energy, you may come off as aggressive and like you haven't thought out your full plan before you go and you speak. Again, these are people's perceptions. This isn't necessarily who you really are. This is the tone you give off when you speak to people. Let's go over the Wheel of Fortune and the Chariot. So a lot of people in your life that are very close to you that you allow to come in your inner circle have noticed a big change in you recently, in your mood, your attitude, the way you hold yourself. You may not have always been this very dominant, aggressive, type A personality. It's definitely a positive change, a positive shift. This may be you just getting into what you'd like to do with your life, finding your purpose, and other people are noticing this change within you and how you hold yourself. And they're very proud to see how far you've come and what you're doing with your life. So from your tarot cards, these are the messages that came up. Let's go ahead and take a look at your oracle cards and see other messages on how people perceive you. Okay, so with these oracle cards that came up, that jumped out when I was shuffling, asking how people perceive you, we have the throat chakra here, which is all about speech and the way that you come across with your ideas and what you were trying to get across. This is through work, relationships. You speak very well and you hold yourself very well, and people respect that about you. We have material harvest here. People see that you are diligent, you are applied, or you apply yourself to your work and to your passions, and that is very attractive. When it comes to relationships, who you connect with, and if you go on a date or if you're with someone, they know that they can rely on you to provide for them, and that's very attractive as well. We have spiritual union. You may be starting out on a spiritual path, or you may have been on one for a while now, but I definitely feel like this is coming from a romantic relationship standpoint. You are very desirable, and when you are meeting someone, especially when they are looking for a mate, they can tell that they would be safe in that relationship spiritually with you. So you give off that energy as well. And this is just going back to what I was saying. You are a very lovable person, a very infectious energy. With the balance card here, you give off an energy of you have your life together, or you're getting your life together. And it's very calming for the other people to see this. And you definitely have a role model type energy. Something for somebody to look up to. So overall, you are very attractive. You're very attractive physically and then also mentally, emotionally. You may have been one of the popular kids in school. That could very well be a trait that you had. Everybody just wants to be around you. And like I said before, this may have just manifested into your life. You may not have always been so confident, and if that's the case, people want to be around you now, and you definitely are a good partner, or you would be a good partner for somebody, and people see that. They don't have to try very hard to see that within you. Okay, so your last set of oracle cards, group 1. So let's start with the Ivy. Like I said, you have a very strong personality. This is coming out in the Ivy, and then also the Stag. Very persistent and having lots of perseverance through adversity and issues within life. You are definitely someone that is able to get knocked down and get up on their feet again, and that's very admirable about you. Let's go over to the Stag, which ties in with the Ivy here. This is a very strong leadership type role. So you'd be a very good boss, a very good mentor. People listen to you and take your advice. And so you need to be careful with what you say. Make sure you're coming off with every perspective, every angle in mind. And think before you speak. Again, this is how people perceive you, like we talked about before with the Justice card in reverse. That doesn't mean that you are ignorant. It just means that this is part of what you are coming across as. People see you that way. Just make sure you have all of your facts correctly. And again, it's not a jab at you. It's just something to keep in mind in how you're holding yourself when you have conversations with people. So the Belladonna here, this is a card of, it's definitely power, but it's also, if people cross you, they wish they were never born, or they had never done anything to cross you, because you are so powerful and deadly, and you will take action against them if they do you wrong, or if they do somebody you love wrong. So very sharp knife you carry with that. And then we have the orange tree, which is on the opposite side of your deadly personality if somebody does you wrong. It's the love and commitment and marriage. You are definitely a prime example of the perfect partner. And people look at you and they see your best qualities and they want to be a part of your life. Whether this is being with you romantically, or if this is just, they just want to be around you. But I definitely feel people see you as a mother figure, a father figure, just lots of power, lots of pride, and yeah, people like you, group 1. And that's cool. But the most important thing is you like yourself and you're happy with how you're living your life. And that's all that matters. And like I said before, people's perception isn't always correct. So take this for what resonates. What doesn't resonate, leave behind. And always continue to keep working on yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really enjoyed this reading. It was a lot of fun. A little bit of a different pace than I usually do. So it was great. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't to be part of the Hive. And I will see you guys next time. Again, like I said, I'd like to do a reading about your current energy and how you really are perceived within your life. A little less about how people perceive you and more about the energy that you give off. So it'll be a little bit more accurate, more authentic to you. Okay guys, I hope you have a divine day. I will see you guys again next time. Take care until then. Bye-bye. Alright, group 2, welcome. So, if you guys are new here, what we'll go ahead and do is we'll go over your oracle cards and your tarot cards. Now that you've chosen your pile on messages coming up about how people perceive you, let's go ahead and get into it. Again, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe down below so you never miss a video with me again, and like this video if you enjoy. Alright, let's get started. Okay, group 2. So these are your tarot cards. I want to go ahead and start this reading by saying this is people's perception of you. That doesn't mean that this is your true, authentic self. So take what resonates and then leave the rest behind. If you find something about yourself that you say, hey, this makes sense, aha, this is something I need to work on, or oh, this is really cool, then, you know, take that. And I was telling group 1 I'd like to do another video again about your energy, the energy that you put off. That'll give you a little bit more of a precise representation of yourself versus how people see you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with that. We'll go ahead and start with the Lover's card here. So right off the bat, people are definitely intrigued in you. You're very attractive, emotionally, physically. You give off that energy if people are very attracted to you. They want to know more. And it's more of a romantic sense. People want to know you. And I definitely feel like you give off this mysterious vibe that is and definitely aids to your attraction or the attraction of them to you. Let's go over here to the 3 of Swords. These cards give off a meaning that really stood out. So even though a lot of people are very interested in you romantically, they have this underlying feeling of, oh, this person is gonna break my heart. You may be very physically attractive, and it gives off that energy to people like, okay, this person is so gorgeous. There's no way they can belong to me. Even if for a short while they do, there are so many other good-looking people out there that they're not going to settle for me. So that's part of the energy that you give off, just this, like an unattainable presence. Like people can't get near you because you are so beautiful. We have the Queen of Cups here, and you come off emotionally distant or aloof, hard to connect with emotionally. And again, if this resonates, great. If it doesn't, you know, this is just the energy around how people perceive you. You come off as very emotionally dry. And if that resonates, you know, that maybe was from being hurt in the past. And that could very well be the reason why people feel like they're gonna get hurt by you, because you are not emotionally invested, or it doesn't feel like you are. Let's jump over to the World in reverse. So this is giving me the type of energy of you are a little bit moody, you change your mind often, and it's hard to really get an eye on what you're thinking. Or you're constantly buying new things, getting a new car, moving, changing relationships. You're unpredictable. We have the 9 of Cups here, and the message that came up for the 9 of Cups in reverse is you may look to other people for your happiness. Sorry if you couldn't hear me, I turned away from the mic. So you look for other people for happiness, or even material items. That's definitely how you are perceived, maybe a little bit shallow. Again, this doesn't mean that it has to be exactly right. Just keep that in mind when you meet people. And then we have, let's see, did we cover all the cards? We have one more card. That's going to be the 5 of Pentacles. This is how you let your energy come across. It feels like you have had a hard past, and you don't like to wear your emotions on your sleeve, and you come off a little bit stone cold to people. Like you put up a wall. But I definitely feel like there's a constant change in your mind. You're changing your mind. Or people see that from you. That you can't make up your mind. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the other oracle cards and see what other messages come up, group 2. Okay, so for the oracle cards that came up, group 2, we have harmony here, but we do have it in the reverse. So again, this is going back to the Lovers card, and this is going back to the 3 of Swords in reverse. Just the fear people get of wanting to be close to you and not feeling the same emotional connection. And that's what I'm getting. And then we have trapped in fear. When people first meet you, they may see you as a little bit timid or not able to speak your mind. A little bit quiet, self-reserved, you keep to yourself. Then we have stand your ground, but this one is in reverse. So people see you, again, this goes with the trapped in fear and yeah, not being able to stand up for yourself, or sometimes people will look to you to say something and you won't say it when they expect you to. And I mean, that's fine. If you feel like you don't have to comment on it, you don't have to do anything else for anyone. If you feel like, hey, I don't want to say anything, I'm just going to keep to myself. And that doesn't always have to be a bad thing or a negative thing. Someone may come up to you and they may insult you. And other people around you might expect you to blow up or assert your dominance on the situation, and you let it roll off your back. So for a typical negative card, I feel like this is actually very big of you. You don't play into the games of needing to be dominant or needing to control a situation. You just laugh it off. But people may not see it that way, the way that I'm perceiving it. People may see it as, hey, you know, this person just disrespected you and you're not going to do anything. But again, people's perception isn't always exactly true. There are benefits to the other side of the way people see things. That's what I'm trying to get at. And then we have obstacles and challenges. For how quiet and reserved you come off as, people see strength within that as well. Like you are able to stay at a baseline calm level when situations get rough. When obstacles and challenges present themselves to you, other people see your unaffected nature by it. We have the Wisdom card in reverse. You may come off as naive or, under circumstances of not seeing things for what they are, but I definitely feel like you hold this to your advantage because people see you as very sweet and naive. Definitely, like I said, beautiful, but like you're a heartbreaker for sure. But like I said, you could use this to your advantage, because I definitely feel like you are alert. You are a lot smarter than people think. And, you know, that's leading them to their demise. And you are sitting pretty on top, because people underestimate your intelligence. And then we have the Temptation card in reverse. This correlates with the Devil card in regular tarot. And we have it in reverse, which is breaking bad habits. So you're definitely perceived as someone who's always constantly trying to better themselves, able to accept your flaws when they come up. You're able to say, hey, I don't like this about myself, I'm gonna change it, or I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice. So for all of the reversal cards in here, you guys, I definitely feel like you guys are not perceived for how much you have to offer. You are misunderstood. You may be the, you know, the underdog of your family, or the black sheep that people may say. You are not appreciated for how much you have to offer, and you are definitely misunderstood. Okay, so we have one more deck to go through, group 2, and let's see the messages that come up for that one. I'm so sorry, guys. I forgot to put up your little rose petal up in front here. Forgive me for that when you guys chose your pile. Okay, so the message that is coming through for how people perceive you through this deck is, let's start with the Lion over here. You definitely come off as timid and like you aren't going to assert your dominance over a situation. Again, you don't have to if you don't want to. This is just the way that people perceive you. It doesn't mean you are weak. It just means that people see a different side to you than what is actually factual about you. And I feel like that's an overall message in this reading. You are very misunderstood in a lot of aspects of your life. And that brings me to the Violet over here, because the Violet goes on gentleness and faithfulness, and you may come off as very unattainable, like we talked about before with the Three of Swords in reverse and the Lover's card. But in reality, behind all of that, behind the facade that you put up, you are very sweet and gentle and loving, and a lot of people don't get close enough, or you don't let people close enough to be able to see that. With the Butterfly, let me make sure that's right. I don't have my glasses on. Yes. Okay. So the Butterfly in reverse, people see you as a very stagnant person, and this doesn't have to be a bad thing. People see you as, let me try to think of an example. When people say, oh, that's just so-and-so, that's what they always do. Maybe predictable. People think that you are very predictable, but like I said, their perception of you is very shallow, and you have so much more to offer than what people perceive. They see you as, yeah, predictable. Like they know your next move. They think that you're they think that they are smarter than you are. I need to slow down with my words. Yeah, they think they can predict what you're gonna do, but you have a mysterious energy about you. And I definitely feel like that's one of your strong points. You really are unpredictable in reality, but people try to think that they know what you're gonna do. Alright, group 2, those are the messages that I have for you on how people perceive you. Again, I don't feel like this is accurate for your true authentic self. Stay tuned for the energy that you give off. I'm gonna do a reading on a more accurate representation of who you really are versus how people perceive you. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like down below. Subscribe if you haven't already to become part of the Hive. Be one of the babies. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks again for tuning in, and take care until then. Bye-bye. Alright, group 3, welcome to the video. If you guys are new here, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown on what we're going to be doing. We're going to go over your tarot cards and your oracle cards to see the way people perceive you. Before we get started, I want to leave a little bit of a disclaimer that this is the energy around the way people perceive you. That doesn't mean it's completely accurate on your true authentic self. I'm going to be doing a video on your true authentic energy. So stay tuned for that. That'll give you a little bit of a better representation of who you really are at your core versus how people perceive you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it, group 3. Alright guys, so these are your tarot cards that came up. Let's go ahead and start with the major arcana cards. So we have the Sun here in reverse. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with saying a lot of people find your energy a little bit down sometimes. Maybe like you give off the impression that you are a little bit depressed. Now, again, this may not hold true, but you give off that feeling like, oh, this person's in a bad mood, or they're maybe pessimistic. You just give off that energy of you aren't satisfied. And yeah, I mean, just something to keep an eye on and see in your interactions. Maybe ask one of your friends or someone you're close to see if this is accurate. We'll go over to the Hermit here. For the most part, it seems like you keep to yourself. Not one to really go out and party. You like your alone time, and you do a lot of introspection. Definitely feel like you are a major thinker, and maybe an overthinker too, because we have the 8 of Swords here being tied up in thoughts. You definitely come across as being in your head a lot of the time. That comes out with the 8 of Swords, and then it also comes out here with the 7 of, oh, sorry, I bumped ya. The 7 of Cups in reverse. For the most part, like I said, you keep to yourself, but when you are speaking to people, it seems like you overshare things sometimes. For example, with the 7 of Cups here in reverse, you have a lot of ideas and goals and wants in your life. But it seems like when you're telling these people who you're close to, or even people you just meet, about your ideas, it comes off as unattainable, or like it doesn't have any basis in reality. People look at it as, oh, okay, yeah, sure, whatever, you know. People don't take you seriously in your goals and your dreams, unfortunately. And that doesn't mean that you should give up, because this is only the perception people have of you. I admire your authenticity, because your dreams and your goals are attainable. People kind of look at you like, okay, sure. Let me know when you do that. So, in that regard, I would try to not overshare and keep a little bit more within yourself. There's a big saying that I've seen going around that says, tell the world what you're going to do, but first show them. And I definitely feel like this resonates in this situation. Let's move over to the Seven of Pentacles. People see you as a hard worker. Definitely reliable. And you are definitely someone that a company would like to hire. But again, you have these ideas that people think are a little bit out there. And that's fine. Let them think what they want. If it's your dream, your goal, go for it. But yeah, maybe like, okay, that's a little crazy. So, I mean, if you are easily influenced by the perception of others, I wouldn't tell people. Or at least tell people that you are comfortable with and that will build you up versus tearing you down or talk behind your back. Because we don't want that. We have the Five of Cups here, and this definitely connects with the Sun in reverse. It seems like you're holding on to something toxic, like a past experience, and even though you may try to be holding that inside and not showing other people, it's coming through in your body language, how you interact. So keep that in mind. Maybe time to do some inner work and some healing on a difficult past experience. The Ace of Wands in reverse definitely ties into the Seven of Cups in reverse. It's, you have these ideas and you're very excited about them, but you need to keep them to yourself until you get started on them and start making progress. Because if you don't follow through with them, then it's like, okay, you know, you've told everybody about it, they're going to continue to ask you and see your progress, or maybe be a little bit nosy about it. So definitely try to keep ideas you have to yourself. Another message coming up is, in regards to keeping things to yourself, is make sure that people aren't stealing your ideas. Some people are like, okay, that's crazy. And then other people are like, oh, that's a great idea, I'm gonna do that. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with sharing the wealth of great ideas, but if it's something that you could be doing and profiting from, and then the other person is taking your spot, your place in it, and disallowing for the advancement of yourself, then that's a problem. With the Hermit card and the Queen of Wands in reverse, it definitely gives off an energy of you are a loner. And there's nothing wrong with it. I am as well. I like to keep to myself. I don't like to get into other people's business or drama. And I feel like you are the same way. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. So again, this is a connection with the Seven of Pentacles. If you are appointed a task, people can be sure and comfortable that you are going to follow through. And I definitely feel like this is like a work setting. You're very reliable, or you come off that way. I'm sure you are. Sorry guys, I'm losing my voice a little bit. Lots of talking. Okay, let's take a look at the other messages that come up for you, Group 3. Group 3, with your set of oracle cards, let's go over disruption. So this card correlates with the Tower, which is a sudden change and shift within a person's energy. So I definitely feel like people are picking up on the sadness that you hold within yourself, and they don't feel like you are doing very well. Whether you feel like you're keeping it away from the world or not, they see it. Now I just want to say we have the crown chakra here in reverse, we have the base chakra here in reverse, and then we have the solar plexus chakra. All of these guys are in reverse, and to me, this is more of people are picking up on your vibration and you are out of alignment. And these three chakras need to be in alignment. So I would definitely look into those. You could go on to YouTube, go on to the internet and find ways that you can rebalance these chakras. You do some meditations, breath work, mantras. People are picking up on these chakras being out of alignment. So we have accelerated motion here. And I feel like this goes hand in hand with, again, your job. You're able to get things done quickly, efficiently, and you really don't have any problems in your work life. You are definitely reliable, and that is very admirable. People find that very important for very good reasons. We have deception and envy in reverse here. And the message I'm getting from this is, I definitely don't feel like it's you. I don't feel like you are deceptive or envious of people. But I feel like the people you find yourself around may be a little bit toxic, and they may feel that way about you, and you may have no idea that they are deceptive towards you or envious of you. So, I mean, that gives you some insight on people that you are around. Maybe time to change your circles or your outer circles as well. And then we have passion ignited in reverse. Again, I just had like an epiphany. For all the negativity coming up in this reading, this is the perception of the people that you are around, you spend your time with, and your acquaintances. This isn't a reflection or a true reflection of you. So keep that in mind. This is more the energy around the people that you spend time with versus a reflection of you. It's a reflection of them. So don't feel bad. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a reading where I'm going to be giving you a deeper insight on your energy that you put off into the universe versus the energy that these people are putting off and projecting on you. So, With the Passion Ignited card in reverse, I feel like people don't think you know what you're doing. And this may be a prompt for you to say, hey, am I happy with what I'm doing? Have I found my passion? I feel like people don't think you are happy with how you are proceeding. And if this resonates, maybe you need to take a look at that and find your passion and work towards that and be happier in your life. But if you are happy with the way that you are experiencing and going through life, this is just a reflection of the people that you spend time with. So then in that case, who cares, right? If you're happy, that's all that matters. Alright, group 3, I know this is a pretty heavy reading, but I definitely feel like it was something you needed to hear. I wouldn't keep anything from you if I felt like you needed to hear it. So, I always have your best interest in mind. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the last oracle cards coming up for you. Okay. So with the 5 cards we have here, starting with the Owl in reverse, people aren't picking up on how wise you actually are. You hold that within yourself. You are very wise, but people don't see that. And that's a reflection of them again. So, in a roundabout way, you are definitely wiser than you come off. Which, I mean, it's a good thing. It's better to be wise than be stupid and come off as smart, right? So, that's again, it's a reflection of them if they are unable to see your wisdom. That shows their wisdom, right? Okay. We have the toad here, and you can see how the tadpole is moving into its full-grown form as the toad. People see your transformation that you're going through right now. I definitely feel like you are working on yourself, and the energies that come up may have been your previous energy, but you're in a transition of working on yourself, and that shows. So people are picking up on that. Let's talk about the rain here. You're coming off as very tense. Almost as if you need a good cry. Like, that's what people are thinking, like, is this person okay? And I would love to say that people really care, but I think a lot of these people are just curious. And again, this is so important for you to understand. You need to surround yourself with people that care about you and want to hear your problems and want to help you through them if you want help. I'm feeling a very toxic energy around the people that you are spending your time with. Make sure that they care about you as much as you care about them, and that they aren't holding you back. I definitely feel like that's a big message coming up from this is, like I said, make sure you're spending time with people that really love you and care about you. And it makes me a little upset because we have the fern here in reverse, and it just, people do not see the true beauty. Let me hold this up because there's a little bit of a glare from my lamp. People don't see the true beauty inside of you that you hold and how wonderful you are. People see very shallow representations of themselves within you. And that's one of the biggest messages that I could give you, is people's representation or people's view of you is skewed. It's not proportionate to your true value. So don't let people put you down or make you feel bad, because it just shows how disconnected people are from you and from themselves, trying to put you down. And I have to say all of this because it's so true, and I don't feel like people are saying it to you. You're wonderful and you're beautiful, and people underestimate your beauty. And I just have this message of they're waiting for you to lose it, to explode, to fall apart. And that's really sad. And we have the moon here in reverse. And I feel like this is like a disconnect from what you're supposed to be looking at. So aside from the way that people view you, I definitely feel like this is a message of an illusion of the people that you spend your time with. And this may be the first time that you're seeing this or experiencing these feelings about the people you're around or the people that you meet. They don't understand you. And find someone who you can connect with. There's a lot of shallowness going on in these cards and the energy that I'm feeling with these people that are around you, your friends, maybe even your family as well, acquaintances. Don't let them in if they don't deserve to come in and see your beauty, because, you know, those people are gonna walk in your temple with their shoes on and get mud over everything, and you're gonna have to clean it up. And it's not worth it. Don't let them in. I know that was a very interesting metaphor, but it's true. Don't let people into your temple if they're gonna desecrate it. That goes for relationships, and that goes for, you know, acquaintances, if you're trying to figure out if you want them in your life or not. Be choosy. These people don't deserve you, first of all. Okay, group 3, very deep and powerful reading, and I felt like you guys were ready to hear this. Somebody had to say it, and I care about you, and I want you to be happy. So if you need somebody to talk to about what you're going through, because I definitely feel like you're going through something or you went through something, I do offer personal readings. We could dive deeper into that, or if you just want to talk to me, that's totally fine. You can send me a message on Instagram, but I will leave my Fiverr link down below if you'd like to dive a little bit deeper in personal questions you may have. If you guys enjoyed this reading, please leave a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already, become part of the Hive, be one of the babies. And I really enjoyed connecting with you guys, and I hope you have a divine day. And until next time, I'll see you guys. Bye-bye. Okay, last but not least, as always, welcome group 4. You have chosen this little pendulum. It's made out of amethyst. If you guys are new here, I'll go through the rundown of what's going to happen. Since you've chosen your pile, we're going to go through your oracle cards and your tarot cards and see the perception that other people have of you. Again, I want to lead this with a disclaimer that this is the perception that other people have of you. That does not mean that it is your authentic, true self or energy. So keep that in mind. I will be posting another video where you can check your energy and see how you admit that into the universe. So it'll be a little bit more of an accurate representation of yourself versus a reflection of other people that's bouncing off of you. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Okay, group 4, let me put your pendulum up here. I forgot group 2, I think. I forgot to put their little guy up there. So I don't want to forget for you guys. Okay, so I want to go over the general messages that are coming up for people's perceptions, and then I'll go into the little bit deeper meaning I'm getting. So let's start with judgment. So when I see this card, sorry I bumped you guys. When I see this card, I see someone who's very willing to forgive, maybe not forget, but to forgive other people's wrongdoings. They are able to move past situations with other people that may not have gone the way you're able to move past situations that other people would kind of hold as a grudge. You kind of let things flow, and that's very admirable about you. When I see the Ace of Cups here in reverse, I definitely feel like you do a lot for other people. But, sorry, that was my dad yelling at the cats, probably up on the table. With the Ace of Cups in reverse, I definitely feel like you do a lot for other people and maybe push your needs aside a little bit. Like other people need to come first before you can get what you want or what you need. You're definitely a giver type energy, and unfortunately I feel like people feel that they can take advantage of this, that you're gonna give and give and give everything to them. So if that resonates, make sure you are giving yourself more than you're giving other people, because you deserve it. We have the Nine of Swords here, which gives me a feeling of anxiety, for sure. Other people may feel like you are very high-strung, anxious. You give off that hyperactive energy. We have the Hierophant here in reverse, and this gives off the energy of you're a little bit edgy, you're a little bit edgy, you go against the grain. With the Hierophant card here, we have a perception that you are edgy, a little bit rebellious, you go against the grain, the norms. A lot of people see you as super cool, and they want to be like you in the sense that you don't follow the rules all the time, and you have your own idea of how you want to live your life or the direction you would like to go into. Let's go over to the Devil. So again, let me say that this is the perception that people have of you. That doesn't mean that this is you. It's just a reflection of them bouncing off of you, and you can see that. So it's not always an accurate representation, but this is always beneficial to look at to see how you are perceived through other people's eyes. So, with the Devil card here, I definitely feel like people see you as a party animal, that you don't have any rules, that you're just wild. And I mean, that may resonate with you or it may not, because people's perceptions can be very wrong and can be very different from your true authentic self. But people see you as very extroverted and you're willing to try anything once. With the wand energy that's going on, this is the bigger perception or the more fine-tuned perception people have of you. I'm definitely feeling like you are very artsy, creative, or at least that's the perception that people have of you. Because we have the Page of Wands here in reverse, we have the Two of Wands, and then we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. With those three cards together, people perceive you as this very artistic, creative, interesting, mysterious person, but they're also seeing, like, how are you going to support yourself? And how are you going to put your passion, artistic nature into motion? And they may see you as getting a little bit exhausted in that regard. Maybe not performing your best right now. And again, it's just their perception. That doesn't mean that you aren't, but they're seeing you as like you're a little bit tired. Or they're perceiving your work as not as highly as they used to, or that they feel that you're capable of. But again, if you're happy with what you're doing, who cares what they think, right? But if you're trying to make money from this, this could be a very key perception that you need to pay attention to. If you're doing it for yourself, then forget these people. But if you're trying to make money from it, and it's your creativity that you're trying to sell to the world, keep an eye on what's working creatively and what isn't working creatively in your business, and just take note of that and try out little experiments, see what works, see what doesn't. That's a message that I have coming up. A little side note on that. Alright, Group 4, let's take a look at the other messages coming up. Alright, Group 4, you guys have a lot of oracle cards that came up. I can't fit all of them on here. I'll do my best. Okay, that works. And that works. And I'll be sure to go over them and make sure you see the images clearly. Okay, so people's perception on you. We have foundations and achievements in reverse here. And that's giving off the energy that people don't think you know what you're doing. Or when it comes to family life, you may be single, you may be on the road, you may be, off adventuring, and people are wondering, oh, when are you going to settle down? When are you going to have a family? And I mean, if you do have a family, people may be sticking their nose where they shouldn't, and they have perceptions of your home dynamic that is none of their business. So I would suggest, if that resonates, maybe keep your home life a little bit private, a little bit more private than you are keeping it. With the Patience card here, I feel like people see you and they see your energy as very understanding, like we had talked about before with the Ace of Cups in reverse and how you give and give, and the Judgment card of how you are able to let go of things and you're able to forgive. As for Patience come in, they see you as a very patient, understanding person. With Firm Foundations, this goes into the whole foundations and achievements. That's really tied together. Just people not seeing what you've created, and very judgmental energy going on. Because like I said, if it's working for you, leave this behind, or leave the people behind, honestly, if they are this judgmental about you. If they aren't aiding you in your journey or your process, you need to rid yourself of negative people like that. And again, this is tying in with victory and success. They don't see what they would describe as success, and that may be different for you. Everybody's perception is different. And if you are happy with your life and the success that you've created within your life, it doesn't matter if people think you are successful or not, because you are okay with that. And making sure you are okay with that is, the biggest part of this. If you're not okay with it, then, something needs to change, and this is a prompt for change. But really, the perception that people have of you is a reflection of themselves and hardly anything to do with you. If you don't have what is deemed as a cookie cutter representation of success, other people may think you are not successful, but that doesn't mean that you are not successful or victorious. So keep that in mind. Don't let that get you down. If people don't see what you deem as successful, it doesn't make it any less successful for you. They should be focusing more on themselves, honestly. Okay, so we have the sacral chakra here, and let's go over that. So I'm seeing this as the chakra that is very much in alignment for you. You know what you want. Those are the corresponding words, the key words for this chakra. I want. You know what you want. It's just a matter of going out and getting it. And that's definitely an attractive trait that people see in you. You know what you want. And then we have the New Beginnings card. People see you as a free spirit and unconventional, very unique, and ready to start out on your journey. So we have partnerships and alliances in reverse. And I feel like people find it hard to get close to you. And again, that's a reflection of them. But if that resonates with you, maybe you should look at the relationships that you have. I don't feel like you have the most positive energy with the people around you. So maybe it's a good thing that you aren't really close-knit with the people around you. We have material and spiritual prosperity. I definitely feel like you are a spiritual person and you find your prosperity through spirituality. And again, I don't feel like most of the people around you understand what your term of success means. Some of the people around you may feel, hey, having a sports car is being successful, but you may be feeling like, I was able to do 30 minutes of meditation. That's very successful for me. I feel like the people around you are very materially driven, and you aren't as materially driven. You aren't as materially driven. Then we have sacrifice in reverse. And I definitely feel like people don't think that you have what it takes to be successful. But again, their success is a different standard than you. And that's okay. People have different standards for success, but that does not mean that you are any less successful. Okay, group 4. Let's take a look at the other messages coming up for you. I just want to give you guys like a little pep talk, like keep going, keep fighting for what you want in the life that you want to live, and release people who do not aid you on your journey. That's a big message coming up for you. But let's take a look at your other cards, okay? Alright, group 4, this is your last set of cards. Let's start over on the left. We have the Sun. I feel people see you as a very happy-go-lucky, carefree person. It's getting a very minimalistic feeling the way that you go about your life. You don't need a lot to be happy, and people don't understand that. Again, they are measuring your success by the material items that you have. And you can't do that. So I am feeling like this representation of you that people see is not accurate. You have so much more that people aren't seeing, and people can only understand you as well as they understand themselves. And that is a very strong message coming up for you guys, is you are not understood because other people do not understand themselves. These two cards, the stars and the mushroom reversed, are very much connected. People don't understand your spirituality. They don't understand what you understand. They're on different paths than you. So you seem a little bit of an outsider, and like you break rules, or I don't want to say that they think you're a bad person, they just think that you're very different. And maybe some of them have the stereotype in their head of you, and maybe you have tattoos, or maybe you do other recreational activities that they don't agree with, but that doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's just their perspective. Let's go over to the tortoise real quick. We have that in reverse. I feel like people see this is all about like your success in life, like you're moving slowly, but really you're moving at the perfect pace for you, and your success can't be measured with the tools that they have. Oh my goodness. Let me repeat that. The success that you have cannot be measured with the tools that they have. They can't understand your journey because it's your journey. Wow. very profound message, Group 4. You guys seem super cool. We should be friends, honestly. They don't see your abundance, they don't see your courage, and they don't see the sacrifices that you have made for your life or for your family or the people that you love. It's overlooked, for sure. Because we have the sacrifice card that came up in reverse, right? And then we have the bison that came up in reverse, and they're both playing off of sacrifice. You've done a lot for people and the people around you, people close to you, and then you're very kind-hearted in general, and people take advantage of that, like we talked about earlier with the Ace of Cups in reverse. So don't let people take advantage of you, and maybe look into widening your circle or omitting people who aren't aiding you in your highest good, and finding people that are, because you deserve to be happy and be supported within your journey in your life and your creativity in your business. Okay? So Group 4, I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, become part of the Hive, and be one of the babies. Like this video if you enjoyed. If you'd like a personal reading, I do offer them. I will leave the link down below. You get some pricing on that. And until next time, have a divine day, and I will see you guys again soon. Keep an eye out for that video on the representation of the energy that you're giving off. I will be making it. So, see you guys then. Take care. Bye-bye.